Welcome back to Forest Hill United Methodist Church's podcast, It Takes a Village. I am Reverend Mandy Neal, and today we have Rebecca Dyer with us. I'm so excited about that. So, Rebecca, as we have been having everybody on the podcast, we've been saying, tell us a little bit about how you got to Forest Hill.
I didn't choose to come to Forest Hill. I was kind of born here. I have been a member of Forest Hill for nearly 25 years. I grew up in the church. My parents raised me here. Really, the community at Forest Hill kind of all had a part in that.
That's awesome. So before we get too far into this, we are celebrating something really big in your life. You are going to be graduating with your doctorate of occupational therapy. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
And I don't know if everybody knows, but you did your capstone project here with our bilingual preschool. So why don't you tell us just a little bit about that?
So I worked in and with the preschool to create different experiences for the kids to kind of engage their sensory system, and then worked with the preschool on the playground to kind of equip the playground to better serve different sensory needs and just kind of be able to explore their environment a little bit more.
Well, we have loved having you here. So you're finished. So we haven't had you for the last couple weeks, but we miss you. We've had such a good time with you being here with us every day. So that's been fun. And we're just really excited. I am personally excited to call you Dr. Rebecca Dyer. So congratulations on that. So in terms of our Gibson Village project, you're on our discernment team. And so we've talked on the podcast about our discernment team a lot. And you are the youngest member on our discernment team. That might feel weird, but let me just say that as you get older, you long to be the youngest person in the room. I used to hate it, but now I'm like, oh, that felt pretty good. So what do you bring to the group?
I think this kind of goes back to growing up in the church. So I have been here for a while, and so I know kind of things that we have done or the history of the church, the history of Concord itself. And then I also bring in that younger piece of like finding new ways to either do the same thing or new ways to engage in the community.
So I think that's really important to think back about who we are and how God is continuing to push us and pull us and grow us. As you look backwards, what kinds of things do you think of fondly about your Forest Hill memories?
I think I remember a lot of time in the education wing, a lot of Sunday school, maybe not necessarily the lessons, but either activities or vacation Bible school, things like that. Going on mission trips with youth group or just playing games or the hard conversations that you even have in youth. And then coming back from college on those Sundays and everyone being really interested in your life and wanting to know what you've done and how you've grown.
Yeah, so there are so many traditions and like how we raise children in the church and like things we do every year, like VBS. VBS is like just around the corner. So it's June the 1st through the 4th. Little plug. We want kids and volunteers. But it really is a great time. And it's not just about doing the thing that you're responsible for, but it's about being part of a community. Mm-hmm. And then you nurture and build relationships. So I know that's been important in your life. So as a 20-something who is engaged in the church, what are your reflections, and I'm going to say 3 things together and we'll kind of unpack them separately, but reflections on the Church Universal, the United Methodist Church, and then Forest Hill. So what are your reflections on the Church Universal?
I think I call it Church Big C, but feel like we tend to get a bad rep. There's just a lot of negativity on either side about lots of things that the church has going on. But I think that it is a really empowering place and has the room to be a safe place for a lot of people.
So, the United Methodist Church has gone through a season they have really tried to figure out who the United Methodist Church is.
Growing season.
A growing season. And I know that you have kind of experienced that in different ways as you have been away at college and been to different local churches, been a vital part of your campus ministry. So what do you think? What are your reflections on all of that as the United Methodist Church and where we have come out?
I think so. I was actually talking to Mom the other day. I at Pfeiffer went to a lot of different churches. I was trying my hardest not to come home every weekend because I moved down on campus for a reason. So I was like, let me try and stay. Visited a lot of different churches, and a lot of them had great aspects. They were doing a lot of things. There was always something missing. And I think that this time of growing in the United Methodist Church, not all of the churches that I went to were UMCs, has made the connection between the churches stronger. Even driving back and forth to Monroe, passing different UMCs, you can see how the theme of safety or inclusion is kind of woven through who they are now.
I do think it's been clarifying for us to understand who we are, and just a lot of local churches have had to figure out who they are and maybe just do some deep thinking about how they include people in the world.
Yeah,
it's awesome. So, what about your time here at Forest Hill? Like, what are your reflections of Forest Hill?
I think that it says a lot about Forest Hill that I haven't chosen to leave yet.
And we're pretty excited about that.
Like,
okay, wait a minute. You just said yet.
Meaning, like, if I have to go somewhere, like, move somewhere else, because of life, like, I just keep coming back. But I think that I grow in community, and I think a lot of other people my age long for that community, and Forest Hill does good work in the community, but also within the walls of the church and within its members. And so I think that that's kind of what keeps bringing me back to Forest Hill, and that is so special about this place.
I think, you talked about like your memories of being here and like all the things that you talked about were being in community. And like, I know because I've been here 10 years. I've been here a large part of the time that you have been here, because you're so young. But it's just amazing to see you grow up in the church. And I can point to times where I'm like, oh, that was a big time in her life. And I can see the people that surrounded her and loved her. Because Grace is, and Will, my children are in your age group, I can point to times like when you were there for my children, and like it's just really beautiful. And I do think it's an incredible gift of community. And so just as a person, I say thank you for being a part, because you mean so much to me and to my family. To be part of the community, right? And that's what we want to do at Gibson. Like, we want to figure out how to expand that to more people than we're reaching right now. So what are your hopes and your dreams for Gibson and for Forest Hill as well? But as you're on the discernment team, like as you come around the circle and you're like, what are the things that you're like, oh, I hope this is what we can pull off?
I hope that it is a place where people can find safety, and not just like a physical safe space, but just like for their soul and for their brain. I think that mental health is really big in the community. It's kind of what I want to do with my life. I haven't quite figured that one out yet. But I think that I dream for this this space to continue to be a safe place for people to come and gather and also build their community. Like, I know I've said the word community about 16,000 times so far, but finding a way to empower from within as well, because it is in such a great location, the Gibson Village campus, for that. And I think worship is a great a great way to be very inclusive and safe in that aspect, but also through doing some of the things that like the Gibson Market or anything like that.
So when you say, I believe what you said was mental health is such a big part.
Mm-hmm.
Unpack that for me.
So through occupational therapy, people ask, how can you do OT with mental health? Like they don't, that connection is very vague. But you can't complete your daily tasks, which is what we define occupations as. You can't complete your daily tasks if your brain isn't right. And so finding a safe place to be able to get your brain right, whether that's through worship, through service, through building community, coming to a market and seeing your neighbors, having fun with whatever mom was asking about playlist today, right? So dancing to whatever music we have going on, or anything out there, I think is oftentimes that self-care or that good mental break that people need to kind of take care of themselves.
So hearing you say all this, I realize that you wear a lot of hats.
I do.
You do wear a lot of hats around here. So you are Rebecca, born and raised in the church, part of the congregation. Yep. You are Rebecca, who did her capstone project.
I am Miss Rebecca to the preschoolers.
Miss Rebecca to the preschool kids. You are Rebecca, who sits on the discernment team, just as a person in the congregation. And then you are Rebecca, daughter to Scott and Amanda. Amanda, who is our director of community engagement. So you've spent actually a lot of time over the past 2 weeks after you finished your capstone work at Gibson, cleaning, shredding some sensitive paperwork that we had that needed to be done. Lots of that. Just ripping out carpet, selling things on Facebook Marketplace. So tell us a little bit about that experience. Like, is that fun and exciting, or?
I think it's fun to just kind of envision what the space can hold. You say one idea out loud and everyone in the room can kind of popcorn off of that or shoot you down very quickly.
So what happens when you work soccer with your in the family?
No, it was Justin. I suggested soccer in the gym. The walls did not like that. But having the space to just kind of dream for the community and being that place. And then some of the connections too. So it's not just Rebecca at Forest Hill, but Rebecca and the Dyer family in Concord, with enough connections that we can be like, hey, friends over here, we're having this open gym. You should invite other people. Or, hey, we're having a market. Let's go to this other group of people that we know. Or you should call them. And then just kind of creating, using our community to kind of build a community at Gibson.
Yeah, it's really, you said open gym, and I don't know if we've even said that yet on the podcast, but on Thursdays, there's going to be open gym. And that really just bubbled up out of somebody saying, hey, I will come down there and we will open up the gym. Yeah. And then I think through some networking with the Dyer family, we've pulled in some other people in the community who are going to also bring people and be there to do that. So that's really exciting.
Yeah.
Do you have any new information, any breaking news on the market? There's going to be a playlist.
There is going to be a playlist. I don't know if I have any breaking news.
You ripped out all the bushes so you can see.
We did.
Yeah.
There's some landscaping work has been done, so now the market will be visible from the road, which is going to be a great time. And I think we are going to a farmer's market today to kind of see a little bit more about how that works.
Yeah, so. I'm really excited. Amanda and I had a meeting. Your mom and I had a meeting, and we sat down and I got the update, and so it's really coming together. She's doing a fantastic job, and I use probably what you hear most of your life these days, something about what's happening here. So that's awesome. So we've been kind of wrapping up everybody's podcast by asking them, in 2 years, when you go back and listen to this again, what do you hope still rings true? What do you think, what do you hope that we retain as a church as we embark upon this project?
I think that I hope we retain the ability to kind of maintain and hold relationships. I think that we can be in the community all we want, but if we don't build those relationships, then we didn't really build community. So I hope that that strength that the church currently has is still true in 2 years.
That's awesome. Well, I think by the time that this podcast goes out, you will officially be a doctor. So cheers to you. We're so proud of you. And it's been great to have you on. And thank you for all the wonderful things that you continue to bring to Barstow.
Yeah. Thank you.